Good morning, everyone. I'm Richie Davidson. I'm the founder and director of the Center for Healthy Minds at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And it's great to be with all of you today. Uh, as many of you, I think, know, we are our affiliated nonprofit, Healthy Minds Innovations, through the generosity of our donors to help all of us better address the adversity and challenges that we're facing in the current pandemic situation. Please use the chat box as you're coming on to tell us where you're from. And also, please share with us a word or two about how you are feeling at this moment. And it's great to see people from joining us from many different places. Our center and our nonprofit have developed a framework for understanding well-being that has four major components: awareness, connection, insight, and purpose. And this week, all of our meditations are focused on the last pillar of well-being, purpose, which often are commonly taught here in the West, and yet it really is such a central pillar of well-being. So people are coming into the chat box now and telling us they're a little stressed. There are people from Austria, from different parts of Wisconsin, from Italy. It's great to see so many friends joining. So purpose is really so central, and this is really not about supplying a purpose for ourselves, but rather discovering where our true north is and seeing if we can connect to values and a purpose that goes beyond ourself, whatever that might be for anyone. Other adjectives coming in to describe how they're feeling: anxious, lonely, happy to be here, feeling connected. One of the important invitations, distant and socially connected at the same time. And it is in part through these virtual meditation practices that we can stay connected at the same time that we need to be physically distant. So let's begin our period of practice this morning by sitting in an upright and dignified posture with our spines straight, but not too tight, not too loose. And since we're all sitting in front of a screen in one way or another, perhaps closing the eyes to reduce our screen time, and bringing awareness into this present moment. And let's begin by feeling our bodies, becoming aware of whatever sensations, tension, whatever feelings may be present in our body as we sit together in this virtual community. And perhaps expanding our awareness to include not only our bodies, but also our environment around us, noticing whatever sounds may be present. Maybe birds outside, maybe voices, maybe the sounds of vehicles, whatever they may be. And as we imbue the present moment with this intentional awareness, let's notice how this shifts the meaning of our body or the meaning of a sound. How this shifts the meaning for us. Perhaps there is a sense of appreciation. We may be hearing the sounds of nature. We may be hearing the sounds of others, other people who we may appreciate. Perhaps it is an appreciation for the body and for all the work that it does to supply our basic life functions. And let's spend a few moments reflecting on how this very simple act of awareness can change the meaning of these things that are happening around us all the time. We're not trying to is the elixir, it's the secret sauce that can shift the meaning of our experience. So let's spend a few moments now together with our awareness quite open. It may be on our bodies, different sensations. It may be in our environment, hearing sounds. It may be seeing sights. Maybe touching something. And seeing if we can connect to how our understanding, how the meaning of this sound or this sensation may be shifted by the simple act of imbuing this with awareness. Wandering, simply bring it back to the present moment. Maybe there's a shift in meaning for you of a pain that may be in your body. Maybe there's a shift in meaning of a sound. Perhaps at one point it was annoying, and now you experience it somewhat differently. Perhaps it was something mundane, and now there may be some added appreciation. Right now, I'm listening to a sanitation truck outside and appreciating. The important work that these folks are doing, and in many cases risking their own health to serve others, to be of benefit. So whatever this shift in meaning may be for you, simply examining how your experience may be different when it is imbued with awareness. And now, let's shift a little and think of a activity that you may do in your daily life that is quite routine. You may even think of it as boring. And see if we can connect that activity to some important value or larger sense of purpose that you might have. How might the engagement in that activity be associated with this larger sense of purpose? Even if the activity itself is seemingly boring. Could be anything. Washing the dishes, doing the laundry, taking out the garbage, cleaning, whatever it might be. How might a routine activity that you engage in regularly be connected to this larger sense of purpose that each of us has? So let's spend a few moments reflecting on this activity and how we may connect this to our greater sense of purpose. And then maybe reflecting in a more concrete way about how the next time you engage in that activity, what might help you remember to connect that activity to this larger sense of purpose. Because so often we forget. And of course, the intention of these practices is not so much for the experience they may produce during the practice itself, but for how the practice will infiltrate So let's reflect on how we can connect this routine, mundane, even boring activity of daily living with this larger sense of purpose that we all have. And perhaps consider another activity of daily living. It might be something as simple as going out to take a walk. It might be random encounters that we might have with others at a distance. And how can we connect these activities with our larger sense of purpose? Maybe if we're walking, we can reflect on how staying in good physical shape is beneficial not only for ourselves, but to provide the energy and health and vitality to more effectively serve others. So can we find this, what psychologists have called a self-transcendent purpose, a purpose beyond ourselves, that we can connect to these ordinary activities of daily living? And as we draw this practice to a close, let us reflect on how we can take whatever insights that we've gleaned from this short period together and bring them out into the world to be of benefit to others. And in these last few moments of practice together, and simply rest our mind. Rest in open awareness without doing anything in particular. Simply remaining aware and awake. Resting in the natural awareness that every human being possesses. We might not always recognize it, but it's there all the time. For those of you whose eyes have been closed, please open them now. And if you're so inclined, let us know in the chat box how you might be feeling right now with a word or two. And as you're doing that, I'd like to remind all of you that Healthy Minds Innovations, our nonprofit, is providing meditation practices each weekday at various times. You can go on our YouTube channel and look at the scheduled offerings. And the Monday offering is offered in Spanish for our Spanish-speaking friends. And we also have an app called the Healthy Minds Program, which can help scaffold daily practices and support your practice. This app is available free through the generosity of our donors. So please feel free to download it and try it out and explore your mind. Some of the words that people have said is less anxious than earlier, calmer, inspired, peaceful, hopeful, useful, with appreciation. And we so appreciate the opportunity to serve in this way, particularly during this challenging time. And that we've created is based on 30 years of neuroscientific research on cultivating well-being. And we're really thrilled to be able to offer it freely so that it can be adopted by anyone. And I look forward to being with all of you on a future occasion. Be well, be safe, and may you also be healthy. Thank you so much.